So when I first started making videos, like one of the very first ones I made was one on Law the Normal OTK, because it's one of the decks I have in real life, and it's a lot of fun to play, even if it's not good. Because Law the Normal, while you have 5 level 2 or lower normal monsters on your side of the field, both players discard all cards in their hand and destroy all cards in the field except level 2 or lower normal monsters. And if you power up all your level 1 monsters with triangle power, I think you only need 4 of them to actually attack to OTK them. Then you have 1 extra, because it does like 10,000 points of damage, no matter what their attacks are, and they all have really low attack. I think the highest one is like 500, and that's some mouse or whatever. I think the second highest is 400, it'll press people. It's pretty nice. 400 attack plus 2,000 defense. So anyway, this deck has never really been all that viable because it relies on normal monsters, and normal monsters on their own aren't good. And it requires tons of support, and the worst thing you can do in this kind of deck is to draw into like more than 2 or 3 of your normal monsters in your opening hand, because you pretty much just swarm them from the grave for your deck. With League of Uniform Nomenclature, or Try Right, because this card can bring out 3 of them, this card can bring out 2 extras. Human Way Tactics, Rescue Rabbit, all that jazz, plus you still have to have Triangle Power and Law the Normal in your hand, because it's a 2-card OTK, while having 5 cards on the field. So it's not viable at all, but it's a lot of fun to play if you're playing against someone who's not really... I actually like to bring this card with me, this deck with me whenever I went to locals, in case I wanted to have fun duels and not use my Monarch deck. Which I haven't really gone in a long time, so Monarchs aren't viable. Are they? I don't know, who cares. But anyway, with the new Pendulum summons, this deck might actually become a little bit more viable, being able to swarm all the cards from your hand. That's the only thing you can't do with this deck, is swarm the normal monsters from your hand. You can only do it from the deck or the grave. I'm really excited about the new Pendulum summons, because right now, as it stands, the only good decks are ones that can either control the field meaning through traps like Deep Prison, there's other cards of that, I just blanking on them, Deep Prison, Mirror Force, Solemn, that kind of stuff. Control decks, swarm decks, like Madulchi, Fire Fist, Mermels, anything that can swarm out, and if the deck can swarm and control, like Mermels and Fire Fists, or Harpies, then it's a top tier deck. So your deck needs to be able to swarm, that means bring out a whole bunch of monsters in one turn, and destroy cards in the field. Mermels with their Atlanteans, Fire Fists with their Fire Fist monsters, Harpies with their Harpies, and Hunting Ground, all that stuff. You need to be able to swarm the field and control in order to be a successful deck. And with Pendulum monsters, it'll give all decks the ability to swarm, which will completely change the metagame and make old decks that aren't viable again, because it'll give them the ability to swarm. Because decks that just focus on swarming and don't actually have any control, they still do okay too, like Thunder Family or X-Sabers. I wouldn't say they do okay, but they're not bad. But if your deck can't swarm, you're pretty much, you have to play a control deck where you just play super trap heavy like Bujins. Even though Bujins can swarm too, but they're more focused on control, where they just pretty much control one Bujin and use their grave and everything in their power to protect it from dying while controlling the field. So yeah, Pendulum monsters are going to open up a whole bunch of new decks, and I can't wait to see what kind of old deck archetypes are going to benefit from the ability to suddenly be able to swarm. And I know this one will, because right now there's no way to swarm normal monsters from your hand, only from the deck or grave, and this will give them the ability to swarm from the hand, which is awesome because you can add a ton of them from your hand with Heart of the Underdog. So let's go through this. Alright, as for the deck itself, I went through a whole bunch of different variations of it, and I still haven't quite found one that I like. This is the one I ended up with after lots of testing, and I still haven't really given this one my okay yet. But basically, it's triple Press People, triple Belina, triple Charcoal and Pachi, triple Flameveld Guard, one Rescue Rabbit, triple Triangle Power, one Day of Peace, double Shielded Sword, triple Law of the Normal, triple Tri-Right, triple Hand Destruction, triple Good Goblin Housekeeping, triple Reckless Greed, double Mirror Force, triple League, and one Skill Drain. For the extra deck, we have one Ally, one Underworld, double Mistbird, one Formula, one Gotchi. I forgot why I put this one in here. Oh yeah, in an earlier version I had a level 2 card in here too. That's why. He's a relic from the past. One Mira, double Ghost Trick Dullahan, one Galaxy Queen, one number 13 Kane's Doom, one 31 Abel's Doom, one Sinnet Magician, one Lionheart. Alright, so for this deck I decided to go with 12 normal monsters. When you play 15 normal monsters, you can safely play Enchanted Fitting Room, and like more than half the time you'll get at least one summon out of it, which is pretty nice for it because it's basically a monster reborn or something, a 1-for-1. But you also get lucky sometimes to get 2 or 3. But if you play anything less than 15 normal monsters, the chances are too low to risk it, and you'll have less than half the time nothing from it. So you basically just go -1 for no reason. So since I'm only playing 12, no Enchanted Fitting Room, even though it is a great normal monster swarm card for this deck. There are 2 other ones I play though. Tri-Right, target 3 level 2 or lower normal monsters in your graveyard, spell to summon from the grave. This one is probably the most reliable way to swarm the field, since it's really easy to get these 12 cards in your grave. The League of Uniform Nomenclature, it's more of an early game thing, since you'll probably draw all these cards really fast. Or if you only draw one of them, great, because you just got 2 more out in the field. League and Tri-Right are the 2 ways to swarm with this deck, and kind of with Rescue Rabbit. Basically, if you have a Rescue Rabbit and a Tri-Right, plus 3 normal monsters in the grave, you can go into the Law of the Normal OTK with, you know, Triangle Power. Law of the Normal, because you just use Tri-Right to bring out 3 cards, Rescue Rabbit bring out 2 more, Triangle Power, Law of the Normal, you win. Or, since all of the level 1s in here have more than 2,000 defense, Shield and Sword plus Law of the Normal, same thing, because they both have, we'll have 5 monsters with over 2,000 attack. This one has 2,000, 2,100, 2050, and 2,000. There's also one more that has 2,000, DD Trainer, so if you do want to play the 15 normal monster Law of the Normal deck and add in Enchanted Fitting Room, just throw in 3 DD Trainers, because it's also level 1, 2,000 defense, works with Shield and Sword. Plus, since they all have over 2,000 defense, they can actually survive a lot of the time when you put them face down to just wait for a League, or just to stall out, because these cards are actually really good for stalling if they all have over 2,000 defense. That's why I always play the level 1 version, because there's also a level 2 version of this, since a lot of the normal activates with level 2 or level normal monsters, but there's only 2 actual, here, let me show you, normal monsters, level 2, full search, right here, Atlantean Pikeman and Clown Zombie, and quite recently Galaxy Serpent. Basically, it's all about getting out Atlantean Pikeman and Clown Zombie and using 1,000 energy. Let's see, I actually don't really know how to spell 1,000. 1,000. Right there. Increase the original attack and defense of all face-up level 2 normal monsters except tokens on your side of the field by 1,000 points. Till the end phase, destroy all level 2 normal monsters on your side of the field during the end phase. So basically, with Clown Zombie and Atlantean Pikeman, 1,400, 1,300 attack, 1,000 energy would boost him up to 24 and 23, and Galaxy Serpent to 2,000. But all the other ones are 900 and below, so it'll go up to like 19 or something. So you could still do it like that, but this way, with Triangle Power and Law of the Normal, with Triangle Power instead, with level 1 monsters, all of them will have over 2,000 attack. Plus, there's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 level 1 normal monsters that have over 2,000 defense. Well, all the level 2 ones, none of them do. I think the highest defense among them, let's check real quick. I don't know. They don't have high defense at all. None of them do. 200, 600, 400, 700. Yeah, none of them have high defense. See? 1,000 defense right there with Armor Kappa and the Ojamas. It's probably as high as it goes. So it's all about attack with these guys. So level 1 I like to go with because you can actually have them survive. 1400 attack on its own isn't good. Neither is 1350 or 1000. It's just not good enough. The level 1s I've always had the most success with. And you can integrate them, but you can only add in one level 2 monster. Because if you have triple Atlantean Pikemans and you use triangle power on just 2 of these guys, that's still 30... no, it's 42... what is it? 4 times 3 is 12, 3 times 3... yeah, it's 42 plus... yeah, it's still an OTK even with triple Pikeman and only using triangle power on 2 level 1s. But you can't OTK them if you have triple Pikeman plus 2 zombies. You'd need 2 of these guys buffed up. So you can play it 1 Pikeman or 1, well I mean triple Pikeman or triple Clown Zombie, but there's no point in it if you have all these level 1 monsters that are affected by triangle power. Or Shield and Sword, because this also works exactly like triangle power. You can also use this to kill your opponent's monsters, because most monsters have less attack than less defense than their attack, so switch all these guys to 2100 and switch all their super low, see this one has 100 defense, 2100 attack, you would have 800 attack and 2100 defense, so Charcoal and Botch would be able to beat over this guy no problem. So yeah, that's why I use the level 1 engine instead of level 2, because it's better. And then I have a whole bunch of draw cards, Reckless Greed. I don't use Upstart since this is an OTK deck. You don't want to increase your opponent's life points by any more than the 8,000, or else you run the risk of not being able to OTK them. So instead I run Good Goblin Housekeeping because I also run Hand Destruction. These cards are actually good in the grave because if you use one of these while you have 2 of these cards in the grave, you go +1. If you use one while you have 1 in the grave, you go hand neutral. If you use one while there's none in the grave, it's -1 the card's cost, basically. So with 1 in the grave, it's card neutral like Upstart. And with 2 in the grave, it's +1, so it's nice. If you can ditch some of these in the grave with Hand Destruction. Hand Destruction, you just want to get these cards in the grave so you can try write them out later. And draw new, more useful cards. Mirror Force is just a stall game. I was using Threatening Roar, but I found Mirror Force to work a lot better, since not only does it stall out, it also destroys a whole bunch of cards in the process. Skill Drain, never actually used it, so I can switch it out for something else, since I do go into XYZ sometimes. You don't really want to go into XYZs because you can't activate Law of the Normal unless you have all normal monsters on the field. But after you do the combo and they're still live, it is nice to go into some of these options. Or if you know you're not going to be able to get the combo off anytime soon, you can just go into them anyway. Because it's really easy to get out Kane and Doom, the Abel and Kane's Doom lock with this deck, since you're all about swarming out level 1 monsters. And, let's see, is there any card I haven't explained in this deck? Flamevale Guard is a tuner, that's why I have synchros in here. I think I have a little bit too much though. Going into a nice Formula Synchron to draw a card isn't all that bad, and then you use Formula Synchron plus another one to go into a Mistbird Colossus to negate their effects, but you don't really ever do that. You probably don't really want to go for synchros at all either unless you know you're not going to be able to do the combo. But this deck is all about stalling out until you can get off the combo, or drawing them as fast as possible, since you have 1, 2, 3 draw cards in here. Yeah, I wish I had more spell cards that allow you to draw. I was trying out Into the Void, but I kept discarding off of it, and it wasn't doing anything near good enough. Heart of the Underdog, since I can't swarm from the hand, it wasn't really helping me at all. And it was too slow, it just kept getting MST. These ones netted better, faster results than waiting for Heart of the Underdog to get lucky. Of course, you can always just do that. Heart of the Underdog plus Hand Destruction and Reload to discard cards during your draw phase to draw more normal monsters. But it was just too slow for me. This way was a lot faster, as I was actually able to get off the combo more. And for the actual XYZ monsters, Duelahan, Lion's Heart, these 2 cards can win you games by themselves. Usually go for these 2 the most. So you either go into 1 Duelahan plus a Lionhearts after the combo if you didn't actually, kill them in that one turn with all the normal and triangle power. Or go into a Kane and Abel and just let one of them die. You don't really ever go for the other ones. I could probably just take them out, really. Ones you go for the most are Duelahan or Lion's Heart. Or you can stall out with Sinnet Magician, but you kind of want your card to die so that you can replace it later with another normal monster. That way you can go into the combo whenever you want. And these cards tend to die really fast since your opponent spends lots of resources to get rid of them. Alright, and I think that's it.